Welcome to Talk of the Times, where I give you a glimpse of what people were thinking over 100 years ago. This time, we have an editorial from the Hastings Herald in January of 1920. Have you ever listened to some of the advice from health officials and had to do a double take because it just didn't make sense? Well, that's what was happening this week back in 1920 in this editorial titled, Please Illustrate. It reads, "The state of health, which has sponsored many worthy and valuable ideas up to now, and which will undoubtedly give voice to many more in the future, occasionally issues a mandate which is so difficult of comprehension as to be worthy of an explanatory note. One such was issued in the board's recent collection of health hints. It was, in fact, the pronouncement to think before you sneeze. As good citizens, all of us are anxious to do the board's bidding in anything that is calculated to forward public health and welfare. But why should the board leave us hung up in the air with such an unfinished order as that? It is entirely incomplete and inadequate. What shall we think? How long a period preceding our expected sneeze shall we devote to thinking? Most of us have no advance warning when we're about to give voice to a rousing sneeze. We merely feel the inclination on the instant of its completion, so to speak, open our facial orifices to their fullest capacity and whoop her up. If we belong to the cultured classes and emit a gentle chew. On the other hand, if we are members of the great ordinary run of everyday human beings, we are far more likely to throw back our heads and startle the surrounding world with a yell that sounds like "Rouchoo!" In either event, however, it is doubtful if any of us have ever been in a habit of doing any advanced thinking. We often think after we have sneezed, and sometimes we think thoughts that, if they could be read, might startle the esteemed Board of Health, but thinking ahead of a sneeze is a new art which will require considerable explaining before many of us can practice it. The State Board of Health will please supplement its recent mandate by a chart illustrating the nature of the thoughts which must be thunk and the proper method of holding the sneeze in check while the thinking process is going on. Did you enjoy this week's Talk of the Times? Well, stay tuned for more. There's a lot going on in Hastings, past and present. Make sure to follow our Facebook page to keep up with everything happening.